welcome everybody who have joined us this morning to hear from Steve from Feedsy. Appreciate your company today. You will recall that Feedsy is a newsletter service, and we're hopeful that they will be able to give you exactly what you need and what we have been previously using. One Affinity, this is a different service and something that Resilium is willing to put some money behind to give you that all-important engagement with your clients. So I'm going to hand over to Steve, who's created Feedsy. He's the founder of the program. He runs it, and we currently actually have a couple of Resilium ARs who already use the Feedsy service. So I'm going to hand over to you, Steve, to explain what it's all about, how it works, how the ARs can get involved and sign up.
Yeah, good. Thanks so much, Anne-Marie. Yeah, great to be with you all today. I guess a little bit about my background very quickly. I spent probably 25 years working for a major licensee, and 3 years of that was with a foreign general company. And during that time, I really got to find out and appreciate how time poor financial advisors are and how much advice is needed. I absolutely believe in advice myself. I've got a general insurance advisor, insurance broker, financial planner, accountant, list goes on. But absolutely, in fact, one of my general insurance advisor is a Resilium advisor as well. And I guess when we created Feedsy, it was evolved out of a redundancy from that financial planning organisation after 25 years. In 2012, we started Feedsy. I found out that I still loved what I did. I loved working for financial advisors and general insurance advisors, and really got to appreciate how time poor they were. So I wanted to help them with their marketing and their compliance, and that's where Feedsy was born, because we make everything compliant for you and really let you see more clients. And that's really why we established Feedsy. As Anne-Marie mentioned, we currently help 4 Resilium advisors at the moment, 3 here in South Australia and 1 in Victoria. But we'll find out a little bit more about perhaps who a couple of those are through the session, because I've spoken with a couple of them this week, and they've agreed to sort of for me to show some of their assets. So what is Feedsy all about? Essentially generating freedom and opportunity through easy, time-saving client engagement. That's what we do. In essence, we automate a beautiful-looking monthly email to your clients without you having to do anything. If you want to take an active part in it, you absolutely can. And we'll give you the ability to add your own content and all that sort of thing. And we'll go through some of those how-tos throughout this presentation. This presentation, I don't believe will take an hour. There is time for you to ask any questions via the chat facility. I've got that on screen here. Anything that might relate to what Anne-Marie can sort of talk about, I'll direct those to her. But anything to me, absolutely put them in the chat, and I'll address your questions straight away. The session is being recorded, so everyone that attends will get an email tomorrow with that link of the recording, and anyone that doesn't attend will get the same. But if they've registered, they will get a link. Every advisor that we talk to wants to do something a little bit different in their business, whether it's to nurture current clients, whether just to free up their time, whether to grow their business through referrals. And that's really your ideal client recommending more ideal clients to you, or to just leverage technology. And these are the 4 sort of areas that many advisors want to either focus on or do all of. So Feedsy can help with all of this. But I guess from today, we're going to give you a highlight of a couple of different solutions which you might be interested in. But we certainly do offer an advanced client engagement for no matter where your business is in its life stage as well. Okay, amplify you care. So this is how, I guess, a bit of a snapshot of what the Feedsy assets look like. Your brand is absolutely paramount in everything we do. Every time they receive an email, it's from your business. Feedsy is not mentioned at all. We're the silent partner that helps make you look good. And that's quite often the feedback that we do receive from advisors is the client hit the reply off the back of their email and thank them. Some of them even say, gee, that must have taken a long time for you to put together. And they say, yes, it did. And they take the glory, and so they should. They've invested in the technology, they've invested in it. They should take everything that comes with it. But we provide like a news blog on your website. So this page will be connected to your website. So they just click on news and they go in and can have a look at all the news of that particular week. And they can pick, you can pick lifestyle content, you can pick general insurance content. There's a range of different content mediums that you can sort of choose. Obviously, automated newsletters, shareable content. We're going to sort of cover that today, how you can share content out to your socials. You can even print newsletters. Not everybody has an email. You might have a lot of retiree clients. And as they come and see you, you'd like to give them something. You can print it off in seconds with their name on it. You can implement birthday messages. It's not on all of our plans, but you can implement that. You can implement review reminders, email campaigns. You can have a net promoter score on your business. You can have an automated testimonial wall, and you can integrate everything with a calendar integration. So all of those things are possible. Now, the printed newsletter, this is an example of it. The reason I'm showing you this today is even from the very first starter plan, I'm going to actually include this for you as a bit of a special. Anne-Marie has negotiated a really special deal for all Resilium advisors, not just pricing, but in terms of what you get for that. So I'm going to include the special printed newsletter where you can just go into the back end of your console and just say, okay, I want this story, this story, this story. I want the newsletter to be called X, and it's for Fred and Wilma. And bang, out comes a newsletter printed and with all your logos topped and tailed with your compliance details and everything. You can't break it. It goes out compliant, which is fantastic. So you will get that, as well as all the digital technology in terms of the automated email service. Okay, yeah, a lot of people sort of come to me and they say, we've got problems. I'm stressed out. I don't know how to communicate with my clients. And we just see all the possibilities that can occur through digital automation, because it just frees up your time. And that's what is, I guess, the best feeling you'll get from it, knowing that your clients will be looked after. My business is no different. When I bring on a new client, I want to make sure they're looked after. I want to make sure they hear from me on a regular basis. And, you know, you get that same sort of feeling for your business, knowing that your clients will hear from you on a regular basis every month with your automated newsletter. Okay, I've sort of probably covered a little bit of this, but how Feedsy works, adding your own content, including video. And I love the video part. If you can bring yourself to do a little video, many of our advisors, well, I probably exaggerated, some of our advisors become the newsreader. They might sort of put a laptop in front of them or a phone in front of them and just say, hi, it's Steve here from XYZ Insurances. A couple of great stories I'd like to share with you this week are list 1, 2, 3. And they become the newsreader. That's all from me. Have a great week. We'll catch up soon. It's a 30-second video grab. You copy and paste that YouTube clip and you introduce your monthly newsletter. Very, very easy to do. We'll show you how to do it. But it's a great way of doing something a little bit different, because not a lot of advisors are doing it, but some are doing it really well. How you can review Resilium content and our content. How you can share to your social media pages. What is the automated newsletter all about? Our support pages, and then they will cover off on the Resilium offer in terms of what it is. So how Feedsy works. This is a little mud map. I used to draw this on the whiteboard a lot when I used to explain this to people, but now it's a little video sitting on their website. But basically, we give you a bit of software that you log into. It's a secure software where you log into and you can see the news and commentary coming in on a weekly basis. Your email very clearly is monthly. Okay, it's a monthly email that's automated. We drip feed content every week. Why do we do that? It's because you might want to share some things out every week onto your socials to keep that engaged. So you've got the content in here to share via socials. The beautiful thing about the email is it just emails your blog. So we top up your blog every week, and at the end of the month, we just email it. Awesome. And that would include your content as well. So anything that you've added along what your practice might be doing or anything like that, it can be included in that email and sent out. And I will show you some examples of that shortly. So you can see here, optional stuff, unlimited. You can put as much content as you want in there, including some really cool YouTube clips that you might have seen about small business. or anything that Resilium might have in terms of those videos already created. Any questions so far? Feel free to put them into the chat. Okay, so we essentially set you up with an automated marketing calendar. Why do I say it's an automated marketing calendar? Because we let you know every step of the way what's happening. So every Wednesday evening between the hours of 10 and 12, we add your new content, okay? And when that arrives, that content, we send you a little reminder email Thursday morning to say, hey, new content has arrived. Would you like to check it out? You don't have to, but you can click on the link to go and have a look at the news stories for that week. Now, again, we often recommend the first Friday of the month for your automated newsletter to be sent out. So on the last Thursday of the month, we send you a reminder very clearly saying, hey, next week, your email newsletter will go out. Again, we're just letting you know all the time what's happening. Because I think the feedback that I've got in the past is that everyone loves automation, but we don't like it getting out of control. We like to be in control of it. And we like to know we can be in control of it. So we can pause things, we can do whatever we like. But if we don't touch it, things will happen, which is great. But you need to know that you can pause things, rewind, rearrange, you can take control. Okay, so what does the little email reminder look like? So every week, we will send you a little reminder like this to say, hey, your new content has arrived. Review and add stories. Now, remember that little picture of the Feedsy Center I showed you before? That little diagram? If I click on there, it'll take you into your Feedsy Center. So this email is all about you. It's clicking here, making it nice and easy, taking you straight into your Feedsy Center. So if you forget the URL, don't worry, it's only a week away before we actually provide it to you again. And you've got to hear what's happening. So you can share content on socials, you can rearrange and add stories, or just do nothing at all. That's the nice thing about it. You don't need to do anything. You can be on the list, receiving your email as and when your clients do, which is the nice thing too. Okay, no questions at the moment, I don't think. No, all good. All right, I'm just going to take you into a bit of a live demo of what I mean. So I'm going to log into the back end of the Feedsy Center. And when we log in there, we get a very quick snapshot of our total client list of unbounces, unsubscribes, all that sort of thing. So you're in control of what's happening with your clients. If I click on stories now, I can basically see a bit of a dashboard here of all the content that's in here. This is actually the pretty view of what the client sees. But in the back end, you can sort of rearrange the content. Why your business needs cyber insurance. If I want to put that number 1, and I just refresh that, why your business needs cyber insurance is now number 1. And that's sometimes all you have to do, or all you might do, when your email newsletter is about to go out. To give you an example, the team from Triple T, can everyone sort of see that coming in? The emails from Triple T? Yep. I spoke to Philip yesterday. I let him know that he was okay with us using his examples. But you can see here that the team at Triple T Insurance Services, hi Steve, it's all about my name as well, or your client's name. And you can go through and then have a look at the newsletter articles there. And that will go out in the order that you've arranged here. Okay? So it basically emails your blog. And at the bottom, we've got all our lovely disclosures and disclaimers and privacy, unsubscribe, all that type of thing. If anybody unsubscribes, it automatically quarantines that person so they won't get an email next time. They can also update their own email address if they want to. So again, once it's all signed off, it's all 100% compliant, which is another nice thing. Okay, how does it work, I guess, now with your website? So here's one with Mike Hogan. So he's got all his stories here. He's got his website all connected. You can click on news, which goes to your news page or your insurance blog, for example. And it's all nicely, connected to your pages. So we're taking this a bit slow here. So you can see how you're just clicking on news and it'll just go through. People can subscribe as well. Now, some of you might like social media, some of you might hate it. But importantly, you can, and your clients certainly can, share your stories via their socials. You might instigate that by sharing it. So you can sort of very easily go into any of these stories and you can tag some businesses. Why a business needs cyber insurance. That might be you might be a techie and you might sort of love selling cyber insurance or business insurance. So you want to sort of share this. So I'll go into here and I click on Facebook and I can then share that content to my social media pages. Now, it'll default to my address, but all I need to do to put that onto my company page is share on a page that I manage, and my company page will come up. And we quite often recommend to copy what the article is about, just a bit of a teaser, and put it into here. You can also tag if you're sort of working with a cyber insurance business that actually helps you with some of the IT. You can actually tag them, just by going at Feedsy and you tag that business. That business will like it, and of course their clients will see it. So it's just the power of social media and how you can use your Feedsy platform to really leverage what you do in that way. Okay, if I just go back to here, I'm going to go back to the dashboard again. I'm going to take you into the back end of Feedsy here, where we look at just where your clients live. You might be saying, okay, where do my clients live? They live in your Feedsy center under your lists and subscribers area. And when you go into here, you can see how many clients you have. You can see their readership history, how many emails are sent, how many opened. I can edit their data, all that sort of thing. So you've got a lot of different information there that you can put in, but you can know what they're reading. Under the automation tab, now this is a demo site, so it's limited information here, but we've got our monthly newsletter, and we get a open and click-through rate of everything that has happened over time. We get a list of top 10 stories every month, so we know what our clients are reading, which is pretty cool as well.
Definitely from a retargeting point of view, if you've seen that someone has gone back to that cyber story a few times, chances are they're interested in it. So it is a good way to retarget, isn't it, Steve?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. All right, I hope that gives a bit of a behind-the-scenes sort of look there, and I guess how easy it is to rearrange content that sits on your page. I'll just kick this into gear again. Now, some of these slides to follow will be a little bit repeated because we've just done a bit of a live demo. So I guess importantly, I'm quite often asked, is it my news page? But absolutely, it's all your brand. Links to your sites. And you can add original content whenever you like. So that's the important thing. It's all about you. It's not about us. Clients get to hear from you. When you go through and get started, you can actually there's a whole list of content that you can choose. Obviously, there's the fire and general content, and we actually produce a lot of custom content, and we're always open to suggestions in terms of if you're looking for something specific. We'll feed it in for you. Just an example of how the content is fed from your blog. And we've sort of covered a little bit about that. Now, we've got a whole lot of newsletter styling as well. Now, this is what you saw that Phil is using from Triple T. It's sort of an introduction. The coding up here basically means that it'll go to their first name, but if your data is not that great, it'll say hi there. If for any reason their first name is blank in the data, it'll fall back to there. But we like to use people's names, as I'm sure you would as well, in every case, because it's just nicer. So we've got the contact us, which goes back to you, and you can see here the difference. Some people like to have just different look and feel. Obviously, this one's more truncated. You can get more stories in here, and all the share buttons at the bottom there. Some like the prequel text, where you can read a bit about that story before you click into it, and some like the pictures and that sort of thing. So we've got some styling templates, and we will always, use your graphics and your logo in the best possible way to present you in the best possible way. Oh, we've got a couple of questions. Sorry, I'm not meaning to ignore you there. Tony, how do you obtain our client lists automatically from Resilium inside I hope? Okay, client lists, it's not an automatic thing, but what we can do is whatever CRM you're using, it's a simple export to like Excel, and it's a drag and drop into Feedsy. So I guess it is a little bit manual. You have to actually physically do something, but it's essentially a drag and drop from an Excel file or a CSV file that comes across. If you've got, just say 500 clients, and you do that every month, and by the month 2, you've got 505, and you do the same process, you can drag and drop it in, and it will say, 500 are the same, we're not adding those, we're just adding the 5 new ones. So it cannot accept a duplicate record, it'll only add the new people. So it's pretty robust in that way. Hopefully that answers your question, Tony. If you really want to turn some pretty sexy automation on, we use it ourselves, is integration with Zapier. So if a system like a CRM like you're using, it responds to whatever action that is, and then we'll do another action within Feedsy. So Zapier can be a third-party application to have that instant connection that we quite often like. Norma, another question. Can this be integrated with Insight database? We're currently using MailChimp, not integrated to our database, and the manual process to update subscriber list is tedious. Okay, hopefully I've answered part of that with what I've just said, answering Tony's question. But Feedsy will, in effect, replace MailChimp. And hopefully what I've explained as well, to update Feedsy will be a lot easier than MailChimp, because it is that export, just drag and drop. It's that simple. You've got this big platform on the Feedsy and just drag that Excel spreadsheet in. So Zapier will integrate. I think, Norma, we'll have to double check that in terms of exactly that system. But Zapier, the reason they exist is to integrate APIs that don't natively do it. So they come up with a solution to say, okay, we know where it wants to go, we know where it's coming from, and we'll create that Zap. But I can't say for sure until I check that out. So hopefully that's answered your questions.
Steve, how easy is it to upload a list? So for the ARs, they've got their client list. It really is grab an Excel list of their name, their email, and it's easy just to upload in the back end of the dashboard.
Yeah, well, I'll actually do it all for them initially. So when we go through the setup, we'll basically a week after setup, we go through and I train everybody on their actual systems. So we take the time to go into the back end, we show you. But for each advisor, we'll actually do the first upload for you, make sure it's all there and correct, and then show you how to upload and manage and own that client data yourself. But we'll make sure it's all done correctly right from the word go.
Right.
Okay, the analytics, we've certainly had a look at the analytics. That's what the starts to look like. I know the dashboard before didn't have any data here, but we can certainly see that, we are moving. It was an article that the practice created. That's always going to get higher hits. So we get a bit of a count on opens and clicks. As an industry rule of thumb, 20% is the open rate you can expect, and a 2% click, which I think is very bad. but that's the global average. Reported by MailChimp. So all of our clients are getting well and truly above that. Somewhere between 40, 50, even 60% open rates, and always double-digit clicking on links. So your clients are going to engage when sending emails from and using Feedsy.
This is great because it shows that you're not wasting time, that the content you're sending out is actually being read.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing we do help, Anne-Marie, and everyone that might be wondering, and this is a bit of with my technical hat on, but we authenticate your sending domain. So as part of integrating it with your website, we request access to your DNS and your website. If you're not comfortable with that, we'll give you all the instructions, but we will take ownership of making sure that's done correctly. And we authenticate your domain as a trusted sender of emails. And that means adding a TXT record. Now, not everyone does this, and I've historically haven't really talked about it, but it's a real value add, I believe, going forward, because advisors and practices and businesses in general are thinking more and more about cybersecurity, being a trusted sender, emails not going into spam or junk or anything like that. So I'm really attacking this head on to say, okay, this is what we're actually doing to stop that happening. And what that does is protects your IP address. It actually gives you higher open rates because they're not going into bounced. Therefore, more people are actually reading it. So it's a win-win all around. But we take the time to do that. So we're adding a TXT record to your DNS, and that's all part of what we do, just to make you look good and more emails hitting your client's inbox. Might sound techy, it might be, but it's the process is not that hard, and it's just something that is a bit of quality control there. I've got a couple of testimonials, wouldn't mind showing you. I spoke to Mike just the other week, but he's been using us now for several years, and he had this to say. I think as much as I say about the business, nothing's quite as powerful, I guess, as one of your own or another advisor talking about what we do. And I like to think that I have a real passion towards helping financial advisors and brokers. My whole career has actually been helping, and I guess I just love helping small business. And a lot of my friends are financial advisors and brokers. But there's something really nice that Mike said about us. Oh, I have a few more questions here while that's on. Can you have multiple lists? Warren, absolutely. Probably the best way is through segmentation. I would always encourage that you have one list and you have multiple segments. And that is on one of our other plans, which I'll talk about shortly, where you might have first name, surname, email address, and then you might have whether they're a prospect or a client, whether they're a retail or wholesale client, or whatever it might be. They might be a farmer. So you might have multiple segments within your database, and you would like to send out specific content to those segments. So that gets across the issue of someone unsubscribing from one list and not the others. So multiple lists have that inherent problem. But when you have one big list with multiple segments, if someone unsubscribes from that list, we're protecting what they want in terms of not having a regular email. So that's I hope that answers your question there. We'll need to take Tony. We need to undertake a major job here, probably beyond us. Warren, can you have a list for business clients and other lists for domestic? Yes, you can. Leanne, who checks the content from a compliance and legal perspective to ensure it is correct? Really good question. A lot of the content we are actually feeding from the Steadfast site for the GI content, and a lot of other content is lifestyle or business based with a journalist that has actually written it, and it's all signed off by or written by that journalist. It's not implying that you're saying it either. There's a general advice warning on the footer of every page, and also your authorised disclosure is on the footer of every page as well. But I'm sure you might want to add something to that, Anne-Marie, something that you might want to keep on top of as well from time to time?
Certainly from the very, very start, I think what we will do, and we did this with the previous service, One Affinity, is I, along with Resilium's compliance team, would look through all the stories and review them to make sure that they are compliant. I'm sure they are, Steve, because you know the industry so well, but just how Resilium is, we do check everything. So that's what we would do in the very first instance is between us, Leanne from compliance and I would be going through all these stories and any new ones that come on to check that they are all across the right compliance for
Yeah,
Resilium.
perfect. It's a big thing. Yeah, compliance is so important that we're not sort of recommending anything. We're giving information to better someone's life, or something a little bit newsworthy, etc. So, okay, Tony, can we download a Microsoft master list from Insight as an Excel spreadsheet? Is that all you need? Certainly from Feedsy point of view, all we need is an Excel spreadsheet, absolutely. That could come in the form of like a .csv file or an Excel file, is fine. We also have lists that have unsubscribed. Norma, this is a really good question. We've got lists that have unsubscribed. Can you take our list from MailChimp? Would you have to reconcile this? Okay, so absolutely. What we do with MailChimp, we've had this a lot, where someone has used MailChimp and then come across to us. What we do initially is download from MailChimp all of your unsubscribes. We bring them into Feedsy first. We unsubscribe them so that they quarantine them, and then we import your new active list. And that could be a full list, including unsubscribes. But when you bring it in, it recognizes that those people have already been quarantined. So we respect what has happened historically. So absolutely, we'll bring across all your unsubscribes from MailChimp first. Good, lots of good questions there. All right, so don't just take Mike's word for it. There's a lot of other ones we've got on their website. I suppose the general consensus with all the people that we are helping, it's easy, ease, initial setup, well managed, easy, convenience, easy, and we just want to help. A lot of the comments are around just wanting to help, and we absolutely want that. Prompt, accurate service, so saves us doing it. So you can see when I'm sort of saying initially how time poor you are, advisors are time poor, and we want it to be easy for you. We want you to feel good about it, and we want your clients to love it, and to really raise you up on a pedestal as being their advisor of choice because you keep them informed. Okay, now I mentioned we've got three basically levels of engagement. The communicator one is either you can choose 10 stories or one per week. There's still a monthly newsletter, but it's essentially picking how much content you would like. So quite often if you're picking 10, it means you've got a lot of lifestyle and business articles as well as the GI one. No doubt you'll pick the GI one if you just have the communicator light, because we've got the communicator and communicator light, campaigner or campaigner light, and that light and normal is just how much content you license from us. Okay, and the segmentation is certainly in here. Birthday mails, you got automatic alerts, you got additional styling, additional templates. The Feedsy print, I'm going to put over here for you. So you've got that for those that do want it. The advocator is how you amplify and transform customers into advocators. That basically means on a quarterly basis, we ask them to rate you, or it could be 6 monthly, and they, from a 1 to 10, they rate how likely they are to refer you. And when they give you a 9 or a 10, it automatically populates a testimonial, because we ask, oh, that's great, thank you for rating us a 9 or a 10. What do you like most about us? And they write the comment. And that goes onto a Google review and on to a testimonial page. It's a really nice way of amplifying what you do. Obviously, if they give you a 1 to 8, it's not going to go public, but you still get the feedback to say, how could you improve? Because that's the question. 1 to 8, they says, how can we improve? And they get a comment and you get an email saying, how could you improve? And it's a nice little waker-upper to say, hey, And let's address this before the client leaves us. But I'm going to really focus on this one here. That's the Resilium offer, which I'll explain now. Will give you a rebate or a credit on every one of these plans. It's just up to you in terms of what life stage your business is at as to what's going to fulfill your pain points the most. So what we're doing, and this is an offer that we haven't done for any other business, and I mean that sincerely, is we've never actually given a discount as heavy as this, where we're going to offer a free setup. So that's something that Anne-Marie has sort of negotiated for you, and we're basically zeroing that out, and we're giving $660 off of any of these plans. So basically, I'll grade these out for a reason, because I'm really just going to focus on something simple. Quite often, the biggest hurdle is doing nothing. And so I want to make it as easy for anyone that's ever interested in communicating to your clients to get started in the easiest possible way. Down the track, you might want to review things, absolutely, all well and good, but quite often starting that first hurdle is the hardest. But we can actually offer the same discounts off of all of these. Resilium is giving every practice a rebate of $40 per month. So you can see here how these prices have been sort of chopped, and the same across here. We're also giving you, I guess, a month of, doing something to take up this offer if you want to. Tomorrow,
Steve, can you explain, sorry, so that $40 a month, what that really means is if any AR wants to take up the communicator plan, Resilium will, there is the automatic credit for $40 a month per practice, and then the AR themselves would be out of pocket $40 a month, or here we got $39 a month. Is that correct?
Correct.
So for less than $10 a week, you can market your business, essentially. 2 cups of coffee. Actually, with inflation, it's 1.5 cups of coffee these days.
Yeah. No, and you get ongoing support with that too. We'll train you, all that sort of thing. So there's, if you've got staff in the business that you would like to have manage this for you, it's pretty easy to manage on your own. But obviously, if you've got staff to manage it and to be responsible for it, we can train them. So tomorrow you will receive a recording of this webinar, and you'll also receive a link here to the feedsy.com.au/Resilium, and that has got a lot of information on there about the offer, and also links of how you can get started as well. You can sign up online. It takes about 10 minutes to go through the process. I'll probably even go into here in a moment and just show you what to expect. You've got a discount code called Resilium, and you enter that in there, it'll wipe out the whole setup fee of $660. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll just go back a little bit and go into this Resilium site. Okay, so you've got a Resilium coupon code. It'll actually give you all the details here. You can click on the Getting Started with your awesome coupon code. You can see here what the full retail offer is. But as we mentioned, it won't be that by the time you enter your code. Let's take a bit of time to come up while we're still on the net. So basically, is there any other questions? We can download a client master list from inside Excel. Yeah, that's all you need. Absolutely. Excel spreadsheets, Tony. So when you come into here, the communicator is here, the communicator light. So when you click on the Getting Started button, it'll take you through to a form. You click on Feedsy Light. When you get to the end, we just ask you questions like upload your logo, what's your business name called, who's responsible, who wants to be the primary contact. All the contact details, XYZ, can be found on my website. It's just really follow your nose little form. So I'll probably just sort of start that and see what it'll show you. You can see here it's just a form like that that you go through and complete. And we'll always give a phone call, a personal call to any business that has done this, and then I'll personally go through next steps with you. We're 45 minutes in. Is there any questions? We're still running a bit early. I didn't think it would take the full hour. But do we have any questions that we haven't addressed? Will the clients get an opt-in in the email first? That's a really good question, Belinda. You are allowed to communicate with your clients. They've in essence opted in by doing business with you. So you're able to communicate to them. You only have issues when you start buying lists. And when I say that, actually the Privacy Act allows you to buy a list and talk business to business, but not business to consumer. So that's where I guess the opt-in quite often lies. But with your own clients, absolutely, you can communicate to them. Hopefully that's answered your question. But probably just further on that, if a client receives or goes into your news page and hits subscribe, there's a little tick box there saying, I agree to regular news updates. So we can probably see that under here. If I hit subscribe, I've got that little tick box there. So if you're sharing some content or whatever, I'll put my details in here. They'll be automatically added to your next newsletter, and they're actually opting in by ticking that as well. Tyson, just wondering the difference between the light and full package. Is it just the amount of articles we can send per month? Yes and no. It's probably the number of articles that you license. So basically, you get a choice of 10. One might be the general insurance, and one might be lifestyle, one might be technology, one might be small business, RBA announcements. So you get the whole list going, and you can pick 10 out of about 25 different categories as to what content you feel your clients value. And I think that's where Mike was alluding to as well, because we don't just send out, product's the wrong word, but information about farmers insurance or car insurance or hail damage or whatever. We're actually sending out some lifestyle content about the environment or lifestyle or technology, parenting, leadership stories, all that sort of thing. So it's engaging content about people, improving people's lives. Yes, they get to know who you are because you've got content there, but we have a range of content. So hopefully that's answered your questions. You still get one email a month automated, but you have the ability to send others. So when you use that segmented model, you can send out additional emails over and above your regular monthly email to say just my prospects or just small business clients or just farmers. So you can do that sort of content using segmentation. That's what those higher models are. Communicator, campaigner, advocator. Yeah, so the difference is communicator is just an automated monthly email. Campaign, you've got segmentation, ability to send more emails, birthday messages, calendar integration, that sort of thing. And then the advocator steps up again and automates testimonials, referrals, opportunities, and things like that. And it gives you a growth dashboard. So basically it tells you everybody that's rating you and gives a nice little list of people to follow up to say, these are the hot prospects to say that this is where your new business could come from. It helps businesses grow organically. That's what the advocate is all about. It's growing advocates for your business. Hopefully that's Shane asked the same question. Hopefully Norma and Shane that's answered your questions. When does the NPS fit in? So NPS is where, and this historically it's been big business can only afford this, but the NPS, when clients rate you between that 1 and 10, everyone that rates you is going into an NPS algorithm of promoters and detractors. So everyone over 1 means you're actually doing, you're getting a net promoter score of above 0, I should say, is in the positive territory. But a net promoter score of 80 plus is probably world class. So you can get a net promoter score on your business and analyze that as the year goes by as a nice best practice opportunity for your entire business to say, hand on heart, we've got a net promoter score of 80. That's up there with Harley Davidson, or Nike or something. So you're doing something really awesome and you've got a tangible measure for that. And that's valuable to your business, any prospective buyer, because you've got engaged clients and you've got a net promoter score of 80. You're doing something really wonderful. So hopefully that explains that, Norma. Which plan does it fit into? That's the Advocator. The net promoter score is in the Advocator. And it sounds like you do net promoter score surveys as well. Yep, good. Hopefully that's answered your question. And if you're doing net promoter scores already, yeah.
Essentially, Steve, the basic package will give them the newsletter that they need to send out to their clients.
Correct. Yeah, the basic package will give you the monthly email newsletter to send out to your clients. And these ones here have just got all the add-ons if you want it. But this one here will give you the monthly newsletter. Really, really simple, beautiful looking newsletter. And these ones just build on that. And one thing I should mention too, because I quite often get asked this, there's no lock-in contracts. We've never locked in anyone. You can cancel at any time you like. You can upgrade any time you like. You can downgrade any time you like. And we've got like a 30-day policy where we will delete everything. Once, if you did leave us, we'll give you the opportunity to export anything that you've done, download your lists, all that sort of thing. We'll help you do that. But then we just delete everything, which is what you would want anyway, just for security. But yeah, that's all from me. If there's any other questions, privileged to be able to work with Resilium. I hope to work with you. Certainly got a lot of value to add to your business, and yeah, we'd love to support you in any way we can.
Thank you so much, Steve, for putting this together and explaining what you do and what you can do. I'm quite excited by it. I think it's going to be fantastic for those who want to sign up. And obviously, if you don't want to sign up, don't sign up. But from my point of view and understanding of marketing, something like this, $10 a week out of the pocket, it really is a no-brainer. You could not get this for $10 a week anywhere in the world. So, and that's obviously with the Resilium discount code. So stay in touch with Steve. Look out for his email that will be sent to you tomorrow with all the details on how you can sign up if you want to. And of course, you can always contact me if you have any other additional questions. And I'm sure Steve's happy to take a call or an email as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks very much, Anne-Marie.
Pleasure. All right, well, I think we can wrap up this session now and let everyone get back to their other jobs. Thank you very much, Steve, and thanks to everyone who joined the call.
Good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye for now.